on this lesson, we're going to prepare our file to send it to our printer. So the first thing we're going to do is, if I zoom a little bit and if I press Ctrl Y, you're going to see how I go to the outline of my design. And you can see a difference, like pretty much here on my logo. I have this restaurant word, and you can see how you can only see the outlines. Well, on Salmon Tuesdays, at the rest of the text, you can see this fill black. So that means that the rest of the text is already text. So I'm going to go inside the group by double clicking on it, and you can see that now I'm inside the group, and I'm going to select all my text, go right click, and go create outlines, or you could use the shortcut Ctrl-Shift-O. Now, if I go outside this group and I press Ctrl Y, you can see how I also have outlines, which means that now all those texts are now simply outlined. So this is something you have to do at the end, once that you are ready and that you know that you don't want to modify the text anymore. Because if you do it before, you would have to rewrite the text. So try to do it at the end and do this with all the text. And the reason why we're doing that is because maybe our printer doesn't have the font. So we want to make sure that the text appears on our print just as we have it. I'm going to create a new ledger, and I'm going to call this something like print marks. And the reason why I'm creating this ledger is that I want to make sure that I call this something that the printer knows that this is something that you don't have to print, everything that is on this ledger, but that you need it. I'm going to go to my tools panel, and what I'm going to do is select the rectangle, go to the edges of my canvas, the right measurements that my postcard had, and then I'm going to go Object, Create Trim Marks. And what this is going to do is going to create those trim marks on my postcard. And I'm going to do the same by selecting the rectangle that I just created, and go Cut, or press Ctrl X as a shortcut. Then make sure that I go to the front artboard and go Edit, Paste in Place, or Ctrl Shift Y. And then I'm going to do the same, Object, Create Trim Marks. I'm going to delete this rectangle because I don't need it anymore. And as you can see how I have those print marks that are indicating exactly where the cut needs to be, where the artboard ends and begins the bleed. So I'm going to make an artboard just so you see. Now, if your printer prints your postcard or your document in a bigger paper, those crop marks are going to help to make the cut perfect. Next, we're gonna work with color, and so far we've been working with simple colors, just the ones that we thought that could work. But maybe your printer asks for Pantone colors or some other book specification. So what you're gonna do is deselect everything, select everything, and then go to Recolor Artwork. Then open here on this little icon, click, and you're gonna find the color books. And here you have the different Pantone books as well as some other books. And these books are the ones that you can buy and actually see the rulers and the different colors. So maybe you know an exact color that you want, but maybe you want to know what orange is that one. So you could pick whatever you want or you think your printer already has. So you could go, for example, to this one, maybe the Pantone CMYK uncoded, and then hit OK. And now you can see that some swatches had been created, and what you see if you select, for example, this orange, you can see that now this is the Pantone P3716U. So now you can reference these colors at Pantone as well as the rest of the colors. And now if you want to clean your file, you can go to your swatches and click here, and then go to select all unused, and then click on the trash icon, and now you are only left with the colors that are on your artboard. And you can select the colors, like for example these are the ones that are Pantone. Select all of them, and then go here on this little folder right here below, and a window like this is going to appear, and you could name your color. So for example, in this case I'm going to name my color postcard colors, and this now has a group containing all the colors for my postcard. Now you can see how each one is a Pantone, and to make this even easy for our printer, in case he's just going to open the file and he doesn't have to click on each individual color, you can create these little color chips. So create a simple square, and then with some text add the name of the color. So for example, this one, we're going to see that this is the Pantone 179-2U. So you can type that. And then make sure that both of them are selected, align them properly so you have this organized, and you can drag and press Alt and Shift to create copies and add the colors to the other Pantone, and of course change the number. That way, if your printer opens the file, it's going to see the colors that you are referencing just at first glance, and this is helpful. And remember that everything that is not on our artboard, that is on this gray area, that is the work area, it's going to get printed, so you don't have to really worry about that. And also you have already make clear that that layer is not intended for print, so it's just print marks. So once you have this selected, create the outline so the names appear nice and clean. Now you can lock everything or unlock, depending if you want them to be able to manipulate your file. And now what you're going to do is have it ready. You can save this one as an Illustrator file. So just go save it, and just save it, give it whatever name you want. And you can hand this Illustrator file, and your printer is going to be able to open it and see all the images and fonts and the colors. Another thing that you could do is go File, Save As, and you could save this instead of Illustrator to a PDF. Sometimes printers doesn't have a Illustrator. It's rare, but it happens. So you want to send a PDF too. And you can uncheck Preserve Illustrator editing capabilities, because you really don't want them to edit them, and this way the file is going to be actually lighter, so that's something that you should consider. And now that it has been saved, you can open it in any PDF reader, and you can see how you have these two pages. One that is the first artboard that you created, and the 2 is the second one that you created, so your printer can print them without a problem. And this file also includes the bleed, so there's not going to be a problem. So with this, you have a file ready for printing. I hope you have enjoyed this course. Thank you very much for taking it, and see you next time.